Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to some dark videos. It's more dark than in the last video, though it's the same day. It's almost midnight and I'm starting because I'm in the vibe. I took a long break, we went outside. It's so nice, summer's coming. And in Finland, that means that there is sunlight for a very, very long time. Every day. We were out until like 9:30 in the sun. So good. And then we came home and I'm like, I really feel like I'm gonna film another one because I'm really in the vibe and I'm so unbelievably interested about this show. Like I've said many times, I wish I could just binge it all. Watch everything, just like film everything in a row and then start editing everything. But I won't do it. I want to hear from you guys in the middle of this process. I think I would be annoyed with myself if there was stuff like very obvious stuff that I'm not getting or I'm completely missing in the beginning, and then I watch the whole show without getting it, editing videos and putting them out there, and then people commenting like, well, but you missed this, and then I'll be like, well, now you're gonna have to watch all the rest of the show with me thinking that, because I wasn't corrected. So I really appreciate everyone. I appreciate the non-spoiler help. I'm pretty okay with spoilers. I'm gonna really want to watch it anyways. Usually if I hear spoilers, it makes me want to watch it even more, because then I'm like, oh my god, I want to see how that, like if someone would have told me that Ulrich goes to the 50s and then he gets stuck there and lives there until the 80s, and then he's old in the 80s and young in the 80s at the same time, you know, like if someone would have told me this, for example, it wouldn't have made me go like, oh well, now it feels like I've seen it, I don't need to see it. I would be like, oh my god, now I want to see how they made that. How did the actors do that? How did they write it? Everything. So, but of course, for reaction videos, it's better that I don't get spoiled and I don't have answers and I'm actually surprised by things that I'm supposed to be surprised by first time watching it. So I appreciate the help, but I don't appreciate the spoilers. I do appreciate also everyone, or the legends watching the episodes beforehand, or the videos. I don't know why they keep calling them episodes. I hope you have watched the episodes beforehand a long, long time ago. But thank you guys. Thank you for all the support. You're awesome. I hope you're having a good week. And yes, thank you for being here. And everyone who's watching on YouTube later, thank you very much. You guys are fantastic as well. I appreciate everyone watching. And it's fun to know that people are watching these. So thanks. And thanks for messaging and commenting and saying that you enjoy the videos. It's very nice to hear, because it's very nice to make them. Okay, Dark, episode 4. I have a feeling, because the episode 2 ends with Jonas going into the ball, right? And then that's like a huge question in our minds going into the next episode, which was episode 3, which we watched earlier today, or I watched earlier today. And I'm like, oh my god, where did Jonas go, and da-da-da. And then we don't see Jonas at all in the whole episode, but we focus on so many other things that are very interesting as well. And now we are like, oh my god, Claudia's dead, Noah has the pages, what is gonna happen? Agnes is Noah's sister, like this stuff. And the whole Egon, Ulrich, Mikkel situation that's going on in the 80s right now. I have a feeling that now in this episode, we're gonna go back to Jonas. That all the questions that we have now from the last episode are gonna be like, just wait for at least another episode. And now we're gonna go back to the questions that we have waited now for one episode to find out. I have a feeling. I feel like that's been often the case in the show. But again, whatever we get, I will be very happy. I don't know if I've had any new thoughts since the ending of the last video, but I am thinking about, for example, if we go to Jonas now. I'm assuming we're gonna go to Jonas. I don't know why I'm talking about this now that we don't even know. But the thing that I really want to know about him, and the first thing we will find out when we see him, is where did he go or when did he go? Because they made it such a thing, and because he time traveled in a new way, I have a feeling that he has to go to a time that he hasn't gone to before. Because now he left from the 2050 something, the future. I think it would be quite lame, or not necessarily lame. It would not be lame if he went back home to the real time, because that would be kind of wonderful. But in some ways, I'm like, I would think that the build-up and everything would lead to something new. Kind of like in the finale of last season, because then he time traveled in the switched with Helge, or not switched, but they did this and both jumped to the future. We find out. That was again a new way to time travel through that mirror hole, black hole thing. And he went to a new timeline for him and for us. So now he has been there in the very future, he has been to the present, he has been to the 80s. The two times, the timelines that we have seen, but he has not seen yet, is the 50s, the 1950s, and then the 20s. For some reason, I feel like he's going to go to one that he hasn't been to before because the build-up is so big. Wherever he's going to go, I'm going to be very excited to see it. But that's one thing that I've been thinking about since that episode. That, like, because it was such a, he just disappeared into this black ball, I'm like, it feels like he's not just going home and everything is fine then. It feels like his journey is only beginning. So, yes. And in the last episode, we weren't in the present time at all, I don't think. Only in the end when Claudia went to see Regina. So that makes me think that maybe in this episode we'll be in the present. And there everyone is interesting as well. Charlotte. Hannah has now been to the past with Jonas. Her and the middle Jonas are there. Katarina. And then all the kids. Francisca, Bartosz, Magnus, Marta, everyone. Because at least in the beginning, maybe it is because they were the ones who were in the cave. Or at the cave when it all happened in the beginning and stuff. And it felt a little bit like Stranger Things kind of vibe. I was like, well, these guys are going to be the main characters of this show. And I still think Jonas is. But I feel like the rest have been put a little bit to the, like, we're focusing a lot more, I think, on the adults and all other people. So I would like to involve those people more. I don't know if we will, but that would be nice. But at the same time, I think I find all the adults, maybe because we have seen crazy stuff with them, more interesting. Because I'm like, well, Marta is like, the main thing with her is that she's in all these different plays at school and she's in love with Jonas even though she's his aunt. I'm like, okay. Like, and her brother is missing and her dad is missing and stuff. But I feel like there's not too much happening there yet. So I'm kind of expecting that more stuff will start happening with them. I think Bartosz is the most interesting of them because he has this connection with Noah and we don't know what's going on there. So yeah. But we will see. I will stop talking now because I have no idea where we're actually going to go in this episode, and we're going to watch it. And I'm of course going to keep talking through it like I always do. We'll see if this is going to be a long one. Am I gonna fall asleep in the middle of it? Right now I have a lot of energy, but the last video that I filmed was 2.5 hours. We'll see how short it gets when I edit it down. So we'll see. So let's go. Let's watch Dark, Season 2, Episode 4, The Travelers. I don't know why I whispered all the time. The Travelers. Let's go. We could be anywhere, guys. We could be anywhere. In any time. Although, when we do see stuff like this, like we're in the nature. Scared the crap out of me. I think I should just talk less when I watch these. Calm down a little. So we do go into Jonas stuff. But yeah, what I was saying, this is not important. Why am I talking over this? But like, when we do see just nature, my first thing is like, we have to be in the past. Even though, of course, we have just nature in the present and in the future as well. Of course, in the future, it looks a little different because it's also, the plant has exploded and it's quite post-apocalyptic. But here, right away, I'm like, we have to be in the past. Is it 50s or is it 20s? It's just my guess. But here is Jonas. He just like, this is supposed to scare us. It worked. This music is also making me think that we're in a new place. Well, that is smart, because he has no idea when we are. Oh yeah, he got shot in the leg, right? Oh crap.
Hey.
Fucking 20s. This is 20s. Where's the pillow? We don't recognize either of these people.
Was willst du hier?
Look at the neck, my god.
Ich will nur nach Hause.
Vielleicht ist er ein Heimkehrer.
Refugee. Well, if this is the 20s, this is like
Siehst aus, als hätte man die übel mitgespielt.
after the First World War. Sorry, what? This music, I can't believe he's here. This has to be the 20s, right? Not older than that. Yeah, right? Like, or is this a new time again? Just based on the clothes, I would think it's the 20s. Imagine, this is Vinden. Oh, the coffin looks quite small. Are there kids missing here too?
Agnes, geh und sag Anne Bescheid.
I was gonna say it. I promise I was gonna say it. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this child. This is 100% Agnes. Like, this is literally her face. This could be her as a child. Like, the actress as a child is in front of us. No? And the vibe too. She hasn't said a word. Just this face. I'm like, oh, this is so her. This is great. Yeah, because we have only been in this time seeing Noah with the guy who we don't know who he is. That's all we have seen from this time. So now we know Noah and Agnes are siblings, so it makes sense that she is here.
Agnes, geh und sag Erna Bescheid.
We'll get Erna. But we have no idea who is Erna, right?
Wo warst du stationiert?
He's like, how do I come up with an answer?
Ostfront.
All quiet on the Western Front.
Wir hätten den Krieg gewinnen sollen.
This is so interesting.
Hast du einen Ort zum Schlafen?
So is this Erna? I guess.
Sag deinem Bruder, er soll die Kammer herrichten. Aber nur für ein paar Tage. Bis du auf die Beine kommst.
Ich weiß, es klingt eigenartig.
What year
Welches
is it?
Jahr haben wir?
Yeah.
1921.
Imagine hearing that. Because we saw that, I mean, he wouldn't know this, but now Tia, is thinking. That's great. The only time we've been to this timeline is with Noah and that guy when they were still digging the tunnel. So is the tunnel even ready yet? Is there any way for him to time travel from here? Because he doesn't have a time machine. He doesn't have the ball. If the tunnel is not ready either, he's stuck here, right? Goodbye, Jonas. Because we also don't know where he grows up. Because we see him as the middle Jonas, but I think I assumed that he's just gonna stay in the 2019 and grow to be in the 2052 or whatever, and then come back from there. But he could spend the time anywhere. Maybe he's just stuck here for 30 years. That could be too. Yeah, June 24. This is wonderfully clear that we go one day at a time in these episodes. I mean, it makes sense. Like I said in the first episode of this season, is that the finale is going to be the apocalypse for sure. So we're going day by day. This is great. 3 days until I feel like, do we start every episode with some sort of sex scene? And this is Jonas and Marta again. It is weird when you actually think about it. But it's also cute if you don't think of it.
Perfekt zusammen. Tut mir etwas anderes.
Oh, she's having the same dream. Oh, girl. Well, at least they're on the same page. I don't know, should I keep like rooting for this relationship? They are, first of all, they're quite young. Second of all, they're really... Third of all, they're really cute. And like I've talked, I did a long speech in one of the videos about the chemistry and how somehow it feels so like they're meant to be together. Like that's the vibe that you get from them, like when they see each other, when they talk to each other, when they are with each other. But of course, we know that they are related, so I don't know. Do I root for it? She's going through a lot as well. Her brother is gone, her father is gone, her mom is kind of out, or I don't know, is she still in the cave? The love of her life is gone, even though he is now here.
Frau Doppler hat angerufen, hat sich krank gemeldet.
Was hat sie denn?
Das hat sie nicht gesagt.
Sie haben doch ein Auto. Mhm. Wunderbar.
Wunderbar. Röller is like, okay. I'm so interested in him too. The eye patch, the sister, everything is like, everything is everything. And Charlotte is everything. Are these things from Jonas's walls. No, these are from the granddad's shop. Oh. Let's get together, girls. Her, Katarina, like Hanna, Katarina, and Charlotte should like team up. Even though that's never gonna happen, but that's like my dream team. He looks really good for being so old. I said it before when I was like realizing that he has to be 33 years older than our Jonas, which means that he will be like almost 50. And being like, no way the actor is that old. And then someone in the comments was saying that though he is, but he looks quite good for his age. I really like the actor. Oh. Well, look who we have here. Or maybe he doesn't care about the passport. He
Woher
just
hast du
cares
die?
about the gun.
Wer ist das?
Das ist kompliziert.
It's true.
Mama, warum hast du das?
Soll ich uns was zum Frühstück machen?
No, let's share these things, please. Why is she acting like this with him now? She didn't like going to the past?
Machen wir jetzt mit Mama?
Ich weiß es nicht.
It's just the two of them at home now. Like, what is their life? This is so weird. Aha.
Marta. Franziska.
Was du hier willst.
Wir müssen reden.
Yes. Oh.
Was?
Wenn du jetzt eine Entschuldigung erwartest, dann kannst du es gleich vergessen. Du hast Scheiße gebaut. Ich hätte nicht sagen sollen, was ich gesagt habe. Wir sind quitt.
Wenn ich jetzt der Babysitter während ihr herummacht, oder was?
Warum hast denn du die überhaupt mitgebracht?
Meine Eltern sind seit 2 Tagen gar nicht mehr zu Hause.
Oh,
Ich kann sie
yeah.
doch nicht einfach allein lassen.
Everyone is abandoned by their parents. I mean, I understand. Look, guys, the parents are going through a lot. I just suggested that they would all team up. But I guess they should maybe also come home sometimes and take care of their children. But yes, this is... Okay, well, here we are teaming up all the kids, I guess. Marta doesn't seem super excited about this, though. And we want Bartosz as well, because he has tea.
Ich will endlich rausfinden, was Sache ist.
Willst du jetzt in die Höhlen gehen, oder was?
Kannst ja hier bleiben.
See, now it feels like Stranger Things again. Oh my god. This is wonderful. What will happen though if they go to the cave? Because out of the 4 of them, Ellie is the only one who we've seen in the future. So we have no idea what happens to the other ones. Did we see Marta's grave in the future? Did Jonas go and see the graves and Marta was there? Were other people, or now I don't remember whose graves were there. I would kind of want them to time travel, but I would want someone to be with them who has some idea of what's going on, like Bartosz or Jonas or someone else. I don't know who else. Mikkel, lol. Because I don't think there's any point for them to go for the show. Any point for them to now just go
Du
for.
hast fast 24 Stunden geschlafen.
Oh, that's nice.
Wer bist du?
Noah.
Die Leute sagen, dass Erna zu keinem streunenden Hund Nein sagen kann.
This is wild.
Das hier ist nicht richtig. Ich hatte dich mir anders vorgestellt.
Ah, this is so weird. But has he had encounters with Noah?
Was soll das heißen?
He's so creepy. He's like the middle version. Creepy. dude. But yeah, what is Jonas's connection with Noah? Has he met Noah? Let's get a tattoo. And what is his connection to this picture? Does he recognize it from somewhere? Why am I so... This is the problem when I... Like, there's so much time in between the episodes when I watch them. Because Mikkel had that picture in the... Like, he has that framed. And then Noah has the tattoo and stuff. She's so cute. But yeah, does Jonas, like, recognize that picture from somewhere? I'm sorry if these are stupid questions. And she's in the present time now. Being like, what is this?
Ich bin auf der Suche nach jemandem. Tiedemann. Claudia Tiedemann. Sie hat das Werk früher geleitet. Wissen Sie, wo ich sie finden kann?
Also hier gibt es nur einen Tiedemann. Alexander Tiedemann, der leitet das Werk.
Alexander Tiedemann.
Das war so der...
Oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. This is great. Because the whole connection with them to when, like, Alexander was younger in the 80s, when he showed up and then he just went to get work from her. And she hired him to, like, do all this weird crap. Imagine if this Alexander now, the old or the middle Alexander, now meets her. Because he would remember her for sure. But also, would she go and meet him? Because she didn't go meet Regina, or at least we didn't see it. I would think she just went to, like, see her. And now if she would go and talk to Alexander, of course, then Alexander would probably tell Regina that, well, your mom stopped by.
Jeder, der hier geboren wurde, bleibt. Ist doch seltsam für eine Stadt von dieser Größe.
Hmm.
Was meinen Sie?
It is starting to feel like this is like some kind of pocket dimension that you can't leave. It is true, and there's no outside, like, life outside of Vinden. But then, of course, he, for example, came from somewhere else.
Sie sind 86 nach Winden gekommen. Zu derselben Zeit, als der Junge verschwunden ist.
Was spielt das für eine Rolle?
Yeah. He's very suspicious, this police dude. Klaus. Sorry.
Eine Frage noch. Warum haben Sie den Namen Ihrer Frau angenommen?
Yes. The main question.
Die Tiedemanns haben diese Stadt geprägt. Besonders Reginas Mutter. Wir wollten den Namen am Leben erhalten.
Wie ist Ihr richtiger Name?
Boris.
Köhler. Alexander Köhler.
He is so... Why is he like this? I want to know more about him now. I mean, not now. Always. Why is he... I mean, of course, he's the police. He's just going around. And they are pretending like they are not doing shady business together.
Du erpresst jemanden. Wer bist du eigentlich?
You have no idea, Jonas.
Wer bist du?
Anna?
Avengers Assemble. This is Charlotte's voice, right?
Es tut mir leid. Aber wir müssen es jemandem erzählen.
Oh my god, she invited her. This is an actual team up. It's happening. Where's Katarina? I don't know why the three of them. I'm sure there would be so many others too who would be interesting and who we would need for a dream team. Like Jonas, this middle Jonas. He's here already. Like, he would be great to have in all this. But yeah, the Clausen is... The vibe from him is very... Like, he's very, like, off-putting. I don't like his vibe at all. There are a lot of characters in this show we've talked, many people have said in the comments and stuff that like all the characters are very flawed. No one is perfect. No one is the good guy or the bad guy. Everyone has like good and bad sides to them, which I agree with, and it's wonderful. They feel like real people. But there's some people who, even though they do terrible things, I still have like a good vibe from them. Like in some ways, Hannah, even though she has done so, like, we can see that she's kind of terrible, but then at the same time, like, but she's so interesting, and there's something about her that like draws me to her. I think Clausen is just, it could be that he's just doing his job, but if he's just doing his job, I don't think he would be in this show. I think he needs to have something more in him for us to focus on him so much, and for him to like walk around and ask questions from everyone and really drill answers out of them. And from him, even though he's technically not doing anything bad, because that's the thing, Hannah, for example, has done terrible things already in this show. He hasn't done anything terrible. He's just literally doing his job. But still I have a better vibe from Hannah than from him. Maybe also because we know more about Hannah. He's just like a very suspicious stranger that wants to know everything about these people, but we don't know anything about him. Maybe that's the problem, that, yeah, we're scared of everything that we don't know. And Hannah invited Charlotte here.
Danke, dass du so schnell gekommen
Jonas is like,
Ich weiß, das macht alles überhaupt keinen Sinn, aber das ist Jonas. Er ist viel älter und er weiß, wo mein Jonas ist und er weiß auch, wo Ulrich ist.
oh, Charlotte must be like so happy about this.
Du bist der Mann aus dem Hotel, von dem Regina erzählt hat.
Yeah. Yes.
Wer sind diese Menschen?
From the picture. Yes.
Der Mann hier. Der Priester. Weißt du, wer das ist?
Das ist Noah.
Du kennst ihn? Was weißt du über ihn?
Er gehört zu ihnen.
Was soll das?
Zu wem?
Zu Sigmundus.
Sigmundus, like that's the Travelers. The name of the episode is Travelers. And they are called Sigmundus. I thought it was just the motto, what they say, the Sigmundus Creatus Est, which is written everywhere and all of this. But it's this group called that, I guess. Because she asked, who are these people? And he said Sigmundus, the Travelers. I think one of the conversations, like the most interesting conversations for me so far has been, or like combos, people talking, is these two, Charlotte and Hood guy, Middle Jonas. I really hope that this goes on for a long time, this conversation.
Sigmundus Creatus Est?
That's right.
Worüber redet ihr? Du wusstest das alles. Das mit der Zeitreise.
Es gibt da etwas, das ihr beide sehen solltet.
Now even the sounds, the Hood guy sounds, sound more exciting. Because before they've been very like mysterious and weird. Now that we know who he is and stuff like this is happening, it's like here it's just like dun, 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 dun. Yes, let's go.
Worüber redet ihr? Du wusstest das alles.
Or maybe it's part of the music too. All this, yeah, these sounds, it's great. Hannah is like, how the hell do you know all this? Charlotte knows so much already. Like, she has so many clues from everywhere. And now that she meets someone like the Hood guy, Jonas, who knows so much, I think something like this really was what she needed next to push her to like, that she actually believes that this is real, 100% believes, and will find out so much more if she just talks to Jonas. This is the best thing that could have happened in this moment. I'm so excited. I'm excited about this, but a little nervous.
Okay.
Again, they have a kid with them, like last time. Yeah. And the kid with them is the smart one. But also we know she can't disappear because she's the only one who's going into the future.
Du machst, was ich dir sage. Okay?
Okay. Now I feel safe. Oh my god. Like, this is kind of the funny stuff. When I said that, like, when Jonas went to the future, it's so different going into the post-apocalyptic future when you're just like walking around trying to survive than if we would see Jonas go to the future when there was no explosion and everything was still going fine. Going to the past is so much easier because you kind of can understand better like how things work and whatever. But then when someone goes to the future, it can be quite funny too. Like here now, Claudia is in her future, of course, our present. So for us as viewers, it's not like, oh my god, I wonder what everything's gonna look like, because it looks normal to us. But to her, she's kind of wandering around and she's like, what do I do with this doorbell? Like, how do I work this? You know, like she kind of doesn't know how anything works, especially like electronic stuff. Of course 2019 is easier than if it was like, because everything has changed so much in the last 10 years. I think this is more like light stuff. To me right now it feels like that. She's kind of like, so where do I find the like newspaper from today? Rather than like, what website should I check? Or, you know.
Für die Stadtgeschichte. Wo kann ich Artikel und Veröffentlichungen der letzten 30 Jahre
well, there we
finden?
go.
Das ist alles digitalisiert.
She's like, I don't even understand what you mean.
Und wo finde ich das?
On your computer? Oh my god, this probably looks so futuristic to her. See, like this kind of stuff. We're watching her like, oh, how is she gonna work this touch screen tablet? But at least she's a smart nuclear physicist, I guess, or something. If anyone from the 80s would be able to work this, I think she would be like one of the best bets for it.
Entschuldigung.
Where's
Wo
the
ist denn die
mouse?
Tastatur?
Gibt's nicht.
Okay, thanks for your help. She's like, wow, the future is amazing. She hits it so hard. But like gets it right away, you know? That's great.
Wie kommt man zu seinem Posten? Sonderkommission. Haben Sie sich das freiwillig ausgesucht?
Yeah, why are you here, sir? I'm starting to think, like, who could he be? Can he be Noah? No, not Noah, Adam? This makes me so happy. They would have all the information there.
Sie hat Tronte und mir gesagt, was wir machen müssen.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Sie hat Tronte und mir gesagt, was wir machen müssen. Claudia Tiedemann. Sie kannte die genauen Zeiten und wann das passiert.
Mhm.
Das hat sie uns gegeben. Da steht alles drin. Über die Kinder. Wer verschwunden ist, wann. Dinge über Zeitreisen. Zeichnungen, Tabellen, wir haben es nicht ganz verstanden. Die letzten Seiten wurden rausgerissen.
Weiß Katarina davon?
Let's bring the team! The dream team. Where is Katarina? That is right. If someone, thank God Hannah is there. Even though I don't know why she would like want to help Katarina or whatever. She can do good things too. But if one person should know this stuff about Mikkel and Ulrich, it should be her. In some ways, I like the fact that like what Charlotte and Peter are doing, they are actually trying to figure this thing out, and it's not going to help them and their process, I don't think, if too many people know about it, because then there's going to be too many people involved, too many people like trying to get what they want, of course, and it can get like too complicated. But there's someone like Hannah who has just learned about all of this, but she also has to believe it because she has been to the past now with Jonas. So she has like she has seen it happen. She has been there. She has time traveled. So then for someone like her to come to this hatch and thinking about the whole thing, not from the like, how does it all work side, like I think Jonas and Charlotte and Peter are thinking, but she's thinking it more like as someone from this town, like a normal person, about like, well, Katarina's husband and son have disappeared, and you have all this evidence here, so why is she not here, and why hasn't she heard about this? This is absolutely fantastic that we're bringing these people together. I'm sure it's gonna get like more chaotic, like I said, if more people know and more people talk to each other.
Die letzten Seiten wurden rausgerissen.
And now the pages are missing, and that was also one of the main questions from last episode. Noah saying like, Charlotte, when he like saw the pages finally.
Ihr müsst es ihr sagen.
They're like, it's not time yet.
Okay.
Okay. Guys, how is this real life?
Aber ich mach das.
How is this real life that I just said that I want those three together and now it's happening? And she's gonna find out when he dies. Found dead in his apartment on June 26th. Ay, no. Wrong notebook. What? So, like, in 2 days. And if he's found dead in his apartment, that doesn't mean that he died of cancer in the hospital sometimes later. Like, he has either done this to himself or someone else has done it. For sure. But who and why? The why is maybe easier to guess, because he is getting quite close now to the, or not even quite close, he has like figured out that Ulrich is Ulrich and Mikkel is Mikkel and all of this time travel thing is happening. And like maybe before he's gonna speak to anyone, someone goes and kills him. Maybe Noah, maybe Helge. But this would be terrible, being her and having just heard from your dad, who you're not very close with, that he's gonna die because he has cancer, and being very like, you could see that she was very touched by that, and she like hugged him and everything. And then she time travels here, and then here she finds out that no, in 2 days back then he's gonna die. So whatever her mission is here now in this time and what she's planning to do, I would like to think that she goes like, nope, that I'm gonna go back and like spend the last days with my dad or trying to save him. This is crazy.
Entschuldigung.
She's like, what? This is great. This is great. Everything is great. Your poor leg. You should sit down. Yeah. And it's gonna be just a wall. Or like, or I don't know, did they get it ready? This looks so rough. The walking looks terrible. His knees. Sorry.
Ich träume manchmal von ihm.
Oh.
Jonas.
Let's open up.
Es fühlt sich so echt an.
It's very different to his futuristic blue lamp.
Wohin fahren wir, Charlotte?
Look at her. Yeah, she's had a rough time. And this is, I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm so happy that this team up is happening. And it's actually happening. Where did Charlotte find her? Has she been home? Maybe she hasn't, just been in Mikkel's room looking at all the papers and trying to figure stuff out. But you no longer need to be looking at those, honey. Let me take to this magical hatch that's gonna have all the information on the walls that you could ever want of your family.
Es ist einfacher zu erklären, wenn ich dir zeige.
It's true. What is she gonna say? We have this cabin and there's this hatch on the ground. We're gonna go there. Everyone else is there waiting, and then you will see a bunch, or like, you know, what is she gonna say? Of course she needs to see it. But also this is so sad because it's in some ways, now that I see this and I know what they're gonna find out, I'm so excited. But at the same time, for someone like Katarina, for example, this is gonna be devastating to hear. Because it means not only that they are alive, which would be a good thing, but that they are also kind of dead in this time. Well, Mikkel is, literally. Ulrich, well, I'm sure Ulrich is literally as well, because he was quite old in the 80s. I'm sure he's not alive anymore at this point, you know? That right now, in this moment for them, they are kind of alive and dead at the same time. Because they are dead in 2019 or 2020. But then at this time, 33 years ago, they are alive. That you know that they are alive, but they are dead. In some ways, I think that's worse than them taking her to the hatch and then their bodies being in the hatch and they are literally just dead. Because they're not literally dead. I mean, they kind of are, but they're not, you know? Like, they're alive, but you can't reach them. Or if you will, you can't.
Habt ihr sie gefunden? Wer hat sie gefunden?
Wir haben sie gefunden. Beide.
Ei.
Sie sind nicht tot. Sie leben.
Ei. Look at her reaction. Look at this reaction.
Sie leben. Aber sie sind nicht
She's
hier.
great.
Was heißt denn das? Sie leben, sie sind nicht hier.
Es ist besser, wenn du es mit deinen eigenen Augen siehst.
How were you supposed to sit there in the car after this? I mean, she was begging for her to tell her. I'm not blaming Charlotte. I need a break, but I don't have anything else to say. I don't know what to say.
Was macht ihn hier?
Because this is the dream team. Guys, you don't understand it yet, but this is the dream team. I don't know where I came up with this. Why did it come in this exact moment that we are gonna get all of them? Besides all odds, they should not be together. But here they are. Why I'm so excited, I don't know. It's good that Peter is here too.
Was macht ihn hier? Was soll denn das, Charlotte?
Du hast gesagt, du glaubst, dass Mikkel in der Höhle war. Du hattest recht. Mikkel war in der Höhle und Ulrich hat ihn da gesucht. Aber da war etwas in den Höhlen. Eine Art Riss In der Zeit.
Wollt ihr mich verarschen?
Yeah, maybe she's not gonna believe it. Maybe the dream team is over.
Wo sind Mikkel und Ulrich?
Katarina, es stimmt, was sie sagt.
Du hältst deine Fresse. Keiner hat dich um deine Meinung gebeten.
Yeah, I mean, Jonas can step in, but I love the fact that when Jonas, well, also the way Jonas was telling everything to Hannah and then also showing her, it makes sense that she actually believes it. The way this was now dropped on Katarina's lap, being like, well, there's this thing. Even though there's all this evidence on the walls and everything, but I think the way it was told to her, because Jonas came from a very like a loving point of view, you know, he came very like, Mom, it's me, you know. None of them have that kind of relationship with her, with Katarina, that they could be like, honey, let's sit down, let me tell you something, you know. So I think it will be harder for her to accept it. Maybe that's how this will go, that they all have the same information, but she's just not gonna believe it. Or maybe Jonas is gonna be able to convince her now. His grandmother.
Was soll die Scheiße hier?
Come on, Jonas.
Charlotte hat recht.
She's like, who the hell are you?
Noch einer. Wer bist denn du? Bist du ihr Neuer?
I am her son. Yeah, I mean, that's what... She's of course mad at Hannah. She has every right to be. And her assuming that this is her new boy toy, her new boyfriend, makes perfect sense. But just wait till you hear who he is. But I have a feeling she's not gonna believe.
Ich bin Jonas. Ihr Sohn. Und dein Enkel.
Yeah, I have a feeling she's not gonna. But it's so frustrating because she has worked so hard to get to this point, to understand where they went and what happened. And for us, we understand how unbelievable it is, but we believe it because we have seen it. And we're like, if she only knew, if someone like told her, showed her, like, you know. And now these people are doing it. We're like, it's finally happening. And we could be like, okay, show is over for Katarina. We're done. She knows. But then she doesn't believe them. Which is also interesting because she has worked so hard for this. And then there's 4 different people. Of course, maybe she doesn't trust, maybe she trusts Charlotte because she used to work with Ulrich. I don't know. But Hannah, I'm sure she doesn't trust. I am sure she doesn't want to trust her. Even if Hannah said something that she believed, she probably would want to like pretend that she doesn't believe her because she wouldn't want to believe her. And then there's this new guy who is like, I'm Jonas. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm your grandson. I'm your grandson. Yeah. See, like, she would need, the way they told this to her should have been like a 2-hour conversation. Now it was just like a few weird lines here and there. They are in the like, they have time traveled. I'm your grandson. We know this sounds weird, but this is what it is, you know? Like, no one even tried to tell it to her, like, okay, let's talk about this. They're just like dropping random things. Of course it's gonna sound ridiculous to her, which is very frustrating. Because I think, like Charlotte, who has been digging into this, although she's been digging into this from a different point of view, more from the time travel point of view, because then her grandfather and Ellie meeting Noah and like all of this weird stuff. Katarina has just been like, my family is missing. But they have both been really digging into this, so it's frustrating that Charlotte is now, I would say, completely like believes that this is what it is. And then Katarina doesn't even, like, not even close. She's not even like, I don't really understand, please explain to me. She's just like, you guys are idiots for believing this. Or like, she's just laughing in their faces. It's frustrating. Because then if she actually never believes them, like, what's next for her? Where is this gonna go? And where is the red thread? Imagine going in there and then the tunnel is not there. To be like, well, just a second, I'm gonna dig this tunnel to get back to my time.
Sie sagt, es wackelt.
Oh my god.
Was ist das?
Da ist wer. Los, los, los.
Oh my god. Who could it be? With a light, so it's not Jonas. Well, now the group is all here. He's coming back with the freaking time machine, though. Where has he been?
Was machst du hier?
Like, there is so much happening in this episode. We're like a little bit like over halfway, and there is so much, like, people are finding stuff out. It is stuff that we already know. I don't even know which one is more enjoyable for me in this show. Us finding out stuff that we didn't know before, or seeing these characters find stuff out that we already knew. But we really want them to find out because we want their minds to be blown, like ours have been blown. And now Bartosz is doing God knows what. I want to know so much more about him. What is he doing?
Mein Mann steckt in den 50ern, mein Sohn in den 80ern.
Okay, now we're talking.
Du hast ihn da zurückgelassen, weil Mikkel dein Vater ist, richtig?
Yes? Yeah. The three of them sitting there like... She still doesn't look like she believes any of this.
Ich kann's einfach nicht fassen, dass ihr ihm diese ganze Scheiße abnehmt. Was willst denn du? Willst du Geld? Kannst du mit Toten reden? Ja?
Ah, Katarina,
Katarina?
please.
Ich war da. Ich habe ihn gesehen. Mikkel.
Why don't they take her to see him? I don't even think that's a good idea. As soon as I said it.
Ihr habt sie doch nicht mehr alle.
It's so frustrating because, again, this is a similar thing of like with Ulrich when he was looking for Mikka. And I was saying that he's so close. Like, he's so close because he figured out, he went into the cave and he did time travel. He just took the wrong turn and time traveled to a different time. He was so close, but then he's like so far. It's the same with her now. That she is literally, the truth is right there. Like, they are giving it to her hand, being like, this is it. And she's just like throwing it away. So then in some ways I'm getting like annoyed. I'm like, well, fine then. They tried. What are you gonna do now? Go back to Mikkel's room and start looking at the papers again and be like, what? Like, where are you gonna try and find them? Or, you know, I don't want to get annoyed at her. But I am. And I also love it. Someone was saying in the comments that the actors of Katarina and Hanna became like really good friends, like filming the show and whatever. I love that kind of stuff. That's so nice. Especially when they don't get along at all in the show. It's so fun to know that then in real life they do. Because then it makes this dynamic more fun to watch. Because it is very dark, of course, dark, what they're going through and what their relationship is and the reasons why their relationship is the way it is. And when they're in the same room and looking at each other, you know that there's so much like hate and bitterness and everything in there. But it makes it more light when you know that then they yell cut and they would be like, you know, and be like besties.
Mikkel.
like these kinds of scenes. It's fun to watch. How are you gonna go back? Walk? And what now? I mean, not that their great plan was to tell Katarina as well. It was Hannah who said that we have to tell her. So maybe nothing really changes for them. But I would want to know what is the plan now. For Peter, for Charlotte. Hannah feels like she's just kind of there because she knows all this, so it's probably hard to go home and then just sit at home and be like, I know time travel exists. The end. But like, what is the plan for Jonas and Peter and Charlotte now? I don't know if I want to look. It's gonna be so devastating. Well, the door is there. Like, so far, so good. And then it's gonna open and it's just wall. Well, there's no wind at least. He starts to panic. The breathing gets faster. Because usually there's the huge wind when you open the door and then you close it and the wind stops. It's hard to have wind there when there's just a brick wall. Not a brick wall, literally just the cave. It's terrible. I do wonder what happens to Jonas too, because like this young Jonas, he keeps saying that I just want to go home. Like I just want to go, like everything to be back to normal and I just want to like be back home. But then the middle Jonas is this like time travel dude. Even if he now would be stuck in the 20s for 30 years, I would still think that after 30 years, if he's just in the 20s, just waiting, he would be like, no, like, let me go home. Not like, let's start doing all this time travel shit. You know? And have the time machines and talk to Tannhaus and talk to Claudia and talk to everyone and be very like, very involved and mysterious and stuff. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe he's not stuck in the 20s this whole time. But someone has to come here with a time machine and get him. I guess that's the only way for him to leave the 20s now. They're tying him. Oh my god. This is cool that we hear it from her point of view.
Lass das! Mann, jetzt sag uns einfach, warum du hier bist.
Tell us something. Of course, it's frustrating for them. Yeah, let's check this out. It's frustrating for them. I think for us, it's less frustrating. It's just interesting. I'm like, I want to know what he's doing. What is Noah telling him?
Was ist das? Lass das. Das geht euch einen Scheißdreck an.
Where did he get it from?
Das packen wir ein.
We're taking it and doing what?
Den lassen wir hier. Dann ändert er vielleicht seine Meinung.
Scheiße. Das willst du nicht machen. Marta! Das kannst du nicht machen!
Marta is so done at this point with him. But they left him the light. That's nice.
Wir haben eine menschenfressende Höhle. Ein Atomkraftwerk, dessen Chef offensichtlich etwas verheimlicht.
Yes.
Eine Kommissarin, die abgetaucht ist. Und wir haben eine Stadt voller Menschen, die sich belügen, betrügen und hintergehen.
That's right.
Und die offensichtlich allesamt damit beschäftigt sind, zu verheimlichen, was hier wirklich vor sich geht.
Yeah, what is your take?
Was fangen Sie damit an?
He's gonna be like, I don't know.
Ich weiß es nicht.
Yeah. What is your take, sir?
Was eigentlich mit Ihrem Auge passiert?
That's what I would love to know as well. Someone was saying in the comments that it's like, it's one of those things that we will never really, like, we will never find out why, or the reason is because the actor just had some kind of accident right before they started filming, and then the producers were like, well, he can keep it. It doesn't even have any reason in the show. It's just a very suspicious looking thing. And I don't know what the accident actually is. Is it something that he would still, because this is the second season, I don't know how long it was between when they were filming them. Like, is his eye actually fine now, but because we started this eye patch thing in season 1, he needs to keep going with it? But I think that's really funny if that's the truth. That it doesn't have any significance in the show, because it is such a... If you have a character in any other type of show except for like a pirate show, it's so suspicious. You immediately are like, that's the bad guy.
Okay.
Oh.
Sie dürfen das niemandem weitererzählen.
What?
Also, letzten Sommer ist Folgendes.
Claudia, you need to be careful. She's just walking in the middle of the road. And we will never hear the story of the eye. I'm guessing.
Interessant.
Everything is interesting to him. He's like, who's that person? I want to interview her next. Now it's like she's on a mission. Going to see some old school pictures and see Mikkel there. Is she then gonna believe? And imagine being like, I remember that kid, I was bullying him when I was in school. Oh my God. There is so much happening in this episode. I love it. And poor Jonas. Now I guess he just needs to wait for Noah. Well, there he is. I meant the middle of Noah. It's not open yet. An apple as well, like the guy who he
Es wird
killed.
noch fast 32 Jahre dauern, bis sie sich öffnet.
Du weißt also davon.
I know everything.
Wer wartet auf mich?
Sigmundus. Du willst doch nach Hause. Das sagen sie jedenfalls.
Wer ist sie?
The travelers.
Die Reisenden.
Yeah, because the picture is from here, 1921. The picture that Charlotte has.
Und jetzt?
Yeah, what now? They look so defeated. Wait, so they are waiting for him. I mean, for him, this must be fantastic news because he is now like, well, I'm never going to get home because the tunnel is not ready. Or I'm going to get home in 32 years. And then to hear that some travelers are waiting for you and they just say you want to get home. So now I'm guessing he's gonna go and see them and somehow get to the future through them. I was so ready for him to be stuck here and grow up in the 20s.
Das spielt keine Rolle. Alles wird so kommen, wie es immer gekommen ist.
He's like, who cares
Warum ist
anymore?
man hier?
To hang out.
Hat gesagt, es gibt ein Schlupfloch.
Wer?
Adam.
Wer ist Adam?
Der Anführer von Sigmundus.
Die Leute auf dem Foto. Die Reisenden.
Ja.
Er will, dass der letzte Zyklus beginnt. In 3 Tagen. Ich muss ihn stoppen.
Deswegen bin ich hier.
But how do you do it?
Sie hat's versucht. Aber am Ende ist sie genau das geworden, was sie bekämpfen wollte.
She became exactly what she was fighting. Hannah's probably like, are they? Because this is all so new to her. I can't see her being like now part of this and hanging out in the hatch with them every day and trying to start like figuring stuff out, you know? And Claudia has time traveled back to the 80s. Does she already know how to work the machine? Not just randomly time travel somewhere like Jonas. Like, whoops, now I'm in the 20s. Whoops, now I'm in the future. I don't know, man. Is this where they are? The travelers. No, this is the church. Yeah, of course. I was like, is it that inside? Oh, yes. Oh my God.
Es muss eigenartig sein, mich hier zu sehen. Vor allem nach unserer letzten Begegnung. Meine Bekanntschaft hast du ja schon gemacht.
Indeed.
Du willst doch endlich Antworten haben.
Oh my God. He better take him to the trap or to Adam. Or I don't know if I want that. Do we want that? Ready for the montage? Bartosz. This is crazy. Is she gonna tell them? How are they leaving the kids, like Charlotte and Peter, if they've been gone for 2 days? Or is the place here in the church the room where Adam is? Maybe it is then, yeah. Maybe the first person who's gonna crack all of this open is him. He's looking into everything so intensely. I love how different it is for now that Katarina knows everything, or not everything, but she kind of knows, but she just chose not to believe it. I love how Claudia took the news, because she seemed like the kind of person, what we've seen from her so far, she seemed like the kind of person who I wouldn't be surprised if she was like, this is bullshit, I don't believe any of this, and you know, just go on with her life. But I love the fact that she actually took the information from herself, believed it, and has like changed as a character since then. Because she's learning this huge thing about not only her life, but like the world, about time. And she's like actually absorbing it and letting it change her and make her a better, warmer person who appreciates her family more and stuff. Because then with like Charlotte and Peter now, the fact that they have been away from the kids now for like how many days, you know? But also they don't have this kind of information. Like she has like, well, my dad is gonna die in 2 days and I don't have much time with my daughter anymore, like my future self told me. That she's probably like trying to, you know, okay, let's enjoy this now. Because Peter and Charlotte don't have that like, you know, we're probably gonna die in 2 days, all of us, because the world is gonna end. But yeah, I'm just saying that I love the change that Claudia, this middle Claudia, has had from like the kind of person that she was before, and then what she already seems like a different person now, and we haven't even seen so much of her, but I feel like the difference is quite obvious, and I really like seeing it. And then the older Claudia vibe matches this, I think. And it's sad that if she's gonna disappear, Regina is only gonna remember her as this, you know, or what she was before. If it's like 1% of their time together was like this new Claudia, and 99% was the old Claudia who was kind of a bitch to her. I don't know. Are they in the caves now? Is that where the... This is fantastic. So does this place exist now in the present day as well? Or are they in the caves and did they time travel somewhere and this is in another time? Or are we still in the 20s? But there's no way that she's gonna go as well. But why else would we jump back here now? Okay, well she's just gonna go. Then there has to be something else that happens here for us to actually... Oh no, there we go. I can explain.
Was ist das?
Who is they? Well, Jonas just went in, so... That sound was great too, this. And then the tick, and then we jump like 100 years to the past. Here are the pages. Please tell us about Charlotte. How is Charlotte involved in these pages?
Das Buch, wer hat es geschrieben?
Wer auch immer es geschrieben hat, hat Zukunft und Vergangenheit bereits gesehen.
Aha. The past and the future.
Was wird als nächstes passieren?
So is it him? Adam?
Adam wird ihn auf den Weg schicken, der für ihn vorbestimmt ist, damit der letzte Zyklus beginnen kann.
Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Is he gonna talk to Adam now? Adam. Can he like sit down, please? Not keep walking around with this leg. Such a nice shot. This place looks so cool with all these lights.
Du hast sicherlich viele Fragen.
Indeed. Oh my god. So many questions. This is so intense because it's so quiet.
Das Reisen geht nicht spurlos an einem vorbei.
Is that to explain why his face looks like that?
Was ist das hier?
Or like his scar, because he has time traveled and that's why he has that?
Wollen wir anfangen?
Ich will mit überhaupt nichts anfangen. Ich will,
I'm
dass es
here
hier
to
endlich
end.
aufhört. Alles.
Yeah.
Keine Sorge, es wird ein Ende finden. Dein Ende. Mein Ende. Bei genauerer Betrachtung jedermanns Ende.
Okay. Who is this person?
Wer sind Sie?
Thank you. I feel like he's gonna tell us. Just based on the fact that he's like, who are you? And then he doesn't say anything. He walks towards him. It doesn't feel like he's gonna walk towards him and be like, I'm not gonna tell you. Usually it would be like, then the actual answer.
Wer sind Sie?
Kannst du dir das nicht denken?
I can't. Am I supposed to?
Das kann nicht sein.
Ich bin du. Jeder Stein ist wieder da, wo er hingehört.
Oh my God.
Jeder an seinem Bestimmungsort.
How is that possible?
Jetzt fehlt nur noch ein kleiner Schubs.
Okay, well, that I don't know how many people I guessed like who Adam would be. I don't think I guessed Jonas once. Or did I? But I was not thinking that it would be him. I feel like the shape of his head and everything just does not look like him. Which then makes me think like, why would he lie? Why would he be like, I am you? Because his face looks like that. He could literally be anyone. Anyone who has been hanged. And that is kind of easy thing to fake. Or not fake, but like, you know, if you need a scar like that for yourself, you can make it. But for some reason, I don't believe him now. But although the way they do, again, I'm like, if I was Jonas in that moment, I would probably be like, no, this is bullshit. But because it's us as viewers of this show, and the way they revealed that, it was the end of the episode, boom, big reveal. Just the two of them in the room, and it's so like, build up to this moment, and he takes off we can hear him start taking something off. Right away I was like, he's taking the collar, show it, because we're focusing on his neck so much because it's so fresh now. That I'm like, there's no way that it's that. Like, storytelling wise, it would be weird if they did this big build up and then it was like, he's like, ich bin du. And then later we find out like, oh, never mind, it was someone else. But how does that make any sense that that's Jonas? And the hood guy. And then the old version of them is him. Because he feels like a completely different person. Because the middle Jonas still, even though he has gone through a lot, there's been a lot of time travel and all of this, but he's still, the vibe of him still feels similar to this young Jonas. Even the way he's talking to Hannah and the way he explained this whole time travel thing and the way he's like acting with the others too, with Katarina and the people that he's with now in the present time. The way he treats people feels like, yeah, this makes sense that it's Jonas when we finally find out that it's him. But now with Adam, I mean, first of all, why does he call himself Adam? Why did he change his name? Second of all, he seems, even though we haven't seen him that much, but he seems like personality-wise completely different from Jonas and the hood guy. So Jonas and Jonas. But I think at this point we don't really have an option. We have to believe this. We have to believe that this is true and this is actually Jonas. But it feels different to me. than a lot of the other big reveals in the show. I don't know why I don't believe it. Or why do I have a vibe of like, what? And not as much of like, oh my god, of course. Is this a me problem? It could be a me problem. My god, what an episode. I think maybe we'll get back to this. I don't even know. I will write Adam. It's Jonas. Question mark. Yeah. That's a big one. If that's true, I don't know why I should doubt it, but if that's true, that's huge. But I don't know what to do with that information though. I'm like, I know this is huge, but I don't know what this means. Because I think with a lot of the other reveals, like even finding out that the hood guy is Jonas, or like Helge is working with Noah, and that Mikkel gets stuck in the past, and so does Ulrich. Like these huge reveals that even though it doesn't really make sense, but it also does make sense. I think it has also always been quite kind of like with the hood guy, for example, being like, what? And then you're like, well, yeah, I mean, he does look like him, and it does like make sense. But this for me just like, it feels like it doesn't make sense. But I'm sure it will. I trust this show. I'm actually quite surprised about this episode and how it went. I'm mainly surprised about the dream team actually coming together, and then Hannah being the one who tries to convince Katarina, and then Katarina not taking any of it. She's just like, you guys are crazy. Thank you. Fridge is now quiet. Has it been going this whole video? I'm sorry if it has. Yes. So, what am I saying? Yeah, that Katarina doesn't believe any of it. But now after seeing the picture, after finding the school picture, I'm like, is she still not gonna believe it? Is she now gonna go back with the tail between her legs and be like, sorry guys, please tell me, how do I get them back? But also that's gonna be so sad because she can't get them back. That's not an option. But I'm so surprised that we did all this in one episode. And she found out everything. We found out about like where Jonas went, finally, when he touched the thing or went into the ball, and then now came out in the 20s. So interesting. Now we just need him in the 50s, and then he gets the whole bingo card. But I think at some point in the season 1, I started to doubt myself, being like, maybe he is not the main character of this show because we don't see him that much. I'm definitely back in the Jonas being the main character of the show train. He is such a key, especially now knowing that he's both the hood guy and Adam. Like, I don't think he could be more crucial to the whole freaking story and how it's all unfolding. Now we saw Ellie and the Scar Girl in the future, now in the end. I keep forgetting about the Scar Girl, and then every time we see her, I'm like, oh my god, yes, who is she? I need to know that. Who is she? Who is she related to? And I love that we saw young Agnes in the beginning, because now we know who she is. I wonder what kind of effect that reveal would have had if we didn't have the reveal last episode that she's his brother. If we just knew her name and knew that she is middle version in the 50s, so she would be the young version in the 20s, and we would go to the 20s, Jonas would come there, find these two random guys who take him to the town, and then they are like, hey, Agnes. But it's also not that mind-blowing, because it's not like us seeing the middle Jonas, the middle Noah in every timeline, because that is mind-blowing. That wait, he looks exactly the same as he did like 60 years ago, you know? Because Agnes is just the young version of Agnes. It's not like an, oh my god, how is she here? She's a child, you know? It's like, well, yeah. They did, I think Agnes said that she was born here. She was born in Vinda, she's from this town. And back then, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna write this down because it's gonna be important because she's gonna, like, know stuff. And then she's Noah's sister. Oh, what a time. What a time. Thinking back now to the like beginning of the show. How little we knew. I mean, I know so little at this point as well. No, Agnes said that her grandmother is from Vinden. But now we know she's from Vinden as well. Here we see her as a child in Vinden in the 20s. My main questions right now. Charlotte on the pages of the missing pages of the book. Like, what is that? Where is this whole Marta Jonas thing gonna go? Because now we're showing both of them dreaming the same kind of dream. Which means that we're not forgetting them as a storyline. We're not like trying to move past it and be like, okay, let's not focus on them anymore. It's, they're related, so let's get over that. You know, we're still like very much focusing on that. So are we actually building a relationship between them somehow? However, they are like gonna meet again. Bartosz in the cave. Is someone gonna go back for him to be like, let him out at least, so he's not gonna just like die there? I'm sure, because they're not like a group of killers, the kids, you know? I'm sure one of them is gonna go. Maybe it will be Marta. Or maybe it will be Magnus. Still, the whole Alexander Boris thing is very big question mark for me. Where did he come from? Why did he change his name? Who is Boris? Who is Alexander? Who is, you know, all of that. And Clausen. I keep forgetting his name, but it is Clausen. The police. What is his backstory? Why is he so interested in all of this? Is it because it doesn't feel like just professional, you know? I just want to crack this case. It feels like he is like obsessed in the same way as like Charlotte is, like in a personal level. What is Katarina gonna do now? Is she gonna keep going to the caves and looking for them or something? Because it wouldn't make any sense that now she hears all of that, she's like, you guys are all crazy, and then she goes and finds the photo and cries like that and whatever, and then it's just like, well, moving on. Why is Egon dead? Who kills him? What happens to him? The Sigmundus Creatus Est room that we went into from the church. This also makes sense why Noah is like cosplaying as a pastor. That then he can go through the church and it doesn't look suspicious that he goes through this building under the ground and to the cave with the room. But how are they now? Is Adam gonna help Jonas to travel to a time that he wants, I guess, that Adam wants him to go because he is him? I don't know. That I feel weird about that, but we'll see. I'm very interested to see where that storyline goes. Where is Jonas heading? Or when? I was so sure that the Skarsgård the Scar girl is gonna follow him. I was so sure that she's gonna like do something as well, but no, she just left. And then saw Ellie, who says that this is part of God or part of the devil. But also, if this room in the tunnels, this Sigmundus headquarters, is here in the 20s, it would have to be here in other times too, right? But I would think then that we would have seen Noah or someone in there in other times. Or does it get destroyed or something? Also, we only see Noah in the other timelines like outside and in people's houses and it, like going to people. He doesn't like go like, hey, come over to my place. Let me show you my cave. Yeah, so maybe it is still there somehow. It's a really cool place, to be honest, that you go through all these like secret doors and go to the cave or to a cave, like tunnel, whatever, and then find the way that the front of the place looked with the Sigmundus Creatus Est written and the pillars and stuff just on the wall of the cave. And then you go in and it looks like that inside. Like, that's so cool. So I hope that place is still somewhere, just because it's so cool. Yeah. Unbelievable. I loved this episode. It's crazy that it's only been, well, now 14 episodes, so we're kind of like halfway through the show. But it's only been 14 episodes, and like how involved I feel like I am in the show. You know? That it doesn't take that long for them to build this world and build this whole story and make me go like, I feel like I know these people and I am so invested. It is very impressive how shows do that now, because it used to be that all the shows have like 22 episodes, 24 episodes per season. And now it's like 10. And if you do it well, it feels just as rewarding as the, you know, longer seasons. You feel like you find out as much stuff. Or at least here, I feel like I'm so, like, in it. And it, because then in some shows, like Fallout that I'm watching right now, or I just finished the season 2, there was something weird about it that I couldn't really put my finger on, like, what it actually was. That it felt, the pacing of it felt so different to Dark, for example. Because it's like the same-ish amount of episodes per season, but it felt like it never, like, even start. I loved Fallout. It was so good. And all the episodes were great. And in some ways it felt like a lot happened, but at the same time it felt like when season 1 ended, I feel like we didn't even start yet, you know? But because in this show it feels like already episode 1 feels like half a season. Because so much happens in it and you're like so like sucked into it and you feel like so much time has passed or whatever. Like it's very interesting how the pacing also can feel so different, because in this show it feels like I've been watching this for years, you know? Yeah, it's very cool. I love this show so much. I'm so happy to be watching it. I'm so happy that you guys are watching it with me. Thank you for everyone who's watching it beforehand. All the legends. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support. And if you're not a legend yet and you would like to be, which means that you get episodes beforehand, you can join if you want. If you want to see right now episodes 5, 6, and 7 of this season, they will be out already on Patreon and for members on YouTube. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone on YouTube. I hope you're all gonna enjoy the rest of this season. I'm sure I will. And thanks for watching, and thanks for liking, subscribing. Thanks for hanging out with me and watching this show. And I will see you next time. In episode 5, Lost and Found. Lost. Okay. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.